Hello and Assalamualaikum to Madam Ain and my fellow classmates. Today, my group represents Chapter 6, which is Commercialized Sport. Are you ready? Let's begin! Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Faradiana and I will talk about the introduction of commercialized sport. From the title, we can see a word commercialized. So what exactly is commercialized? Commercialized is a process or method or ways to promote product and services into the market. So the purpose of commercialized is to make profit and produce income. So, what is the relation with sport? Basically, commercialized sports is the use of sport to produce income. It is designed to make profit with organized competition. How? Well, there is services, goods, sponsorship, marketing, and also advertisement. For example, Astro Arena is a sport channel. It broadcasts a sport-related content and make profit when people watch it. Other than that, while scrolling our social media, we can see an advertisement from Al Ihsan, maybe about their sales, about discounts, or even selling goods from our favorite soccer team. Next, National Volleyball League is currently ongoing. People need to subscribe and pay to watch a live match on their website. This is how they make profit from the use of sport. What does it mean by sport commercialization transmit values? Well, sport commercialization can transmit good values and bad values. Famous athletes, especially professional athletes, has many fans and followers and the society recognizes them. In this situation, professional athlete has become an idol to young athlete. When the professional athlete shows good behavior such as dedication in sport, discipline, and other good values, it will influence young athlete. Young athlete will follow the behavior of their idol. This is related to social learning theory by Bandura. It shows that people tend to imitate and follow what they see. So, when the athlete show good behavior, it will be a best example. But when the athlete show negative behavior, it will be a bad example to the young athlete or even society. The next point is policies and rules change for financial and social benefits to the winner. Contract is an agreement, a written or spoken agreement between two or more parties. So contract can be seen when athletes sign an agreement with their sponsor. Then their sponsor will fulfill athletes' needs, but with condition. So the policies and rules in the contract can be changed from both parties for their own benefit. The third point is cheating to win. Some athletes cheat for their own benefit. It can be seen in sponsorship contract or agreement that they will sponsor an athlete that won a particular tournament. So, when the athlete won the tournament, they will pay a big amount of money to the athlete and thus lead athlete to do anything such as cheating. There are three frameworks of sport commercialization. They are commercialized sport, recreational sport, and educational sport. So, what's the difference between all these frameworks? First, we will look at commercialized sport. Commercialized sport is comprised of organized competition that is advertised and be promoted for entertainment values and usually is seen in television. Next is recreational sport. Recreational sport comprised of organized competition between non-compensate individual, which is individual that is not being paid, and this individual from various age play sport for fun. It is less stressful to the mental and physical. The sport can be walking, running, and others. The last framework in sport commercialization is educational sport. It is comprised competition between individuals that enroll in school and college. Educational sport usually interests families, friends, and athletes. For example, co-curriculum that we did in our days back in school, and sport days that usually occur once in a year in our school. Next, we will see the top 3 highest paid athletes. Recently, Forbes have listed the highest paid athlete in the world. At the third place is Cristiano Ronaldo with the earn of $120 million. Ronaldo is a soccer player that is born in Portugal. He has become the first person in the world to reach 500 million followers in 3 of his social media pages. He also have a lifetime deals with Nike and is behind the CR7 brand of clothing, accessories, gyms, and hotels. At the second place is another soccer player, which is Lionel Messi, with the income of $130 million. He is born in Argentina. Messi have a lifetime deals with Adidas as well as clothing line designed by Ginny Hilfiger. In the top list is Conor McGregor, which earned $180 million. Conor McGregor is an MMA fighter and born in Ireland. He has a whiskey brand called Proper Number 12 that has become the moneymaker for him. He earned $158 million off the field and the rest of $22 million on the field. Now, we know a little bit about commercialized sport, right? So, should sport be commercialized? The answer is yes, because making money is not immoral. So, commercialized sport is not an immoral behavior. Sport is a multi-billion-dollar industry, so usually companies take advantage to gain revenues, make their product globally promoted, and high-profit sport usually attracts media and sponsorship. But there are another part of commercialized that can corrupt sport experience. This happens when companies or organizations take advantage of sport for their own benefits and politicize sport industry. Lastly, moral decisions should not be influenced by money, fame, or success. When moral decision is influenced by all of this, that's where the cheating happens. So from all the points, we can see that there is a negative and positive effect of sport commercialization, and it all depends on how people handle it. Since commercialized sport is the use of sport to produce income, so how this sport is being commercialized? There are 4 ways to commercialize sport. First, sport for public relation and promotion. Second, sport as entertainment. Third, commercialized sport as a business. And lastly, sport as transmitter of economy. That's all from me. I will pass my baton to the next presenter.
Thank you to the previous presenter for their insight on the subtopic. Hello, I am Rafsham and I will be presenting about the sport for public relation and promotion and also sport as entertainment. Without wasting time, let's proceed to my first subtopic as you can see on the slide right now, which is about the sport for public relation and promotion. Before we go further, firstly, I would like to briefly explain the definitions of sport for public relation and promotion. For your information, sport for public relation is promoting teams, individual players, and sport organization through earned media channels including broadcast, print, radio, and media outlets. And the purpose of the sport public relation is to build and maximize an athlete's image potential, allowing the player to focus solely on perfecting their craft. The sport has been used to promote the city business and products. The affiliations with the sports allows the sponsors to gain structure and generate fan interest towards their business, product, and teams. The commercialized in sport are divided into three categories or level, which are youth and interscholastic, intercollegiate, and professional. In the first category, which is youth and interscholastic, during this stage, the developments of moral values and socialization start to enhance, which means most of them are playing sports to make friends and training to develop moral values. However, a program of involving the successful athletes such as Datuk Niko and David and Datuk Lee Chong Wei with the youth will give them motivation to have their own idol in their sports and started to play sports to gain scholarship to continue their study while playing sport in the future. As example, as you can see nowadays, many of the athletes further their studies in the university levels. For the intercollegiate level, a successful sport team will enhance the prestige and external image of their institutions. It means if one of the athletes from any institutions or university sport teams that are successful or win any award in any games or prestige tournament, it will automatically enhance their university image. For example, the football team of UiTM FC that are currently playing in the Malaysian Super League is the only one university team that playing in the highest level of football league in Malaysia. Thus, it automatically will enhance the prestige and external image of University of Technology Mara institutions. Last but not least, for the professional level in the sport public relation and promotion, it is likely important for the business sector and public relation to becoming a successful city. For example, it is used to attract the attentions of the sponsor and it is also the main reason of the sport organizations to generate their income from their fans. An example, a good facility of stadium or sport complex that attract the community fans will likely to also attract the sponsors. Okay, let's jump into the case study of the sport as public relation and promotion. The case study was taken on the Star newspaper written by Rema Nordin. The stadium, which cost more than 200 million ringgit to build, was officiated by Johor ruler Sultan Ibrahim Ibni Almarhum Sultan Iskandar on Saturday night, 22 February 2020. The Sultan Ibrahim Stadium is the first football-only stadium with natural grass in Malaysia. It also has a drainage system that prevents water logging. It has a seating capacity of over 35,000 spectators, including 8 specially themed corporate boxes to suit various hospitality needs. By having a complete or a good sport facility, it has become an attraction not only to all the Malaysians, but also it has attracted the attentions of the foreigners to visit and come to Johor. Furthermore, the business sector in Johor will grow well through sport and becoming a successful city. Thus, more sponsors will be interested towards the Johor Darul Takzim football clubs. Let's move on to the next subtopic. The next subtopic that I'm going to explain is about the sport as entertainment in the commercialized. But first, let me explain to you about the entertainment. Entertainment is an activity designed to give pleasure, enjoyment, diversion, amusement or relaxation to an audience. In other words, the sport as entertainment is the action or enjoyment to where spectators are promoting the sports toward themselves. Sport as entertainment also focus on the 3 categories or level which are youth and interscholastic, intercollegiate, and professionals. In the youth and interscholastic level, usually the entertainment that comes from sport is the adult level entertainment from children and adolescents. For example, there are many entertainment in sports that have been promoted such as the World Wrestling Entertainment and others. It may attract the youth and interscholastic level to enjoy the entertainment. However, at the same time, it will affect the behavior of the youth with the violence that has been shown in the World Wrestling Show. Thus, the wrestlers should show a sportsmanship after the show to promote a good example to the spectators. In the intercollegiate level, the entertainment in the sport is more focusing on the integrity versus the sport as entertainment. In this level, it is involved the integrity of players when performing a sport at the tournaments. Nowadays, many athletes and players are involving with the matching fixing issue. The manipulations of sporting competitions by organized indicates has been threatening the integrity of sports, and this actually happen when they can gain a large profits as entertainment. For example, as you can see in the MPL MYSG that stand for PUBG Mobile Malaysia and Singapore Championship this year, there are a few teams that are suspected teaming up during the competition. Thus, the integrity of the esports has been tarnished. In the professional level, the sports stars were assumed to be heroes to the children instead of parents, teachers, and community or national level. The sports stars that involved in the entertainment that is popular has becoming one of the role models for the children and youth to follow their role models' steps in furthering their ambitions in becoming one of the successful athletes or players in sport. Last but not least, this is the case study for the sport as entertainment. The case study written by Rob Swan entitled N'Golo Kante made Chelsea fans loud during Champions League trophy presentation. During the prize ceremony, while Chelsea players all kissed the trophy as they went past it, only Kante opted to give it a little touch before moving on with a beaming smile on his face. One of the most universally popular footballers of all time, Kante is not just a world-class player but he's also, as we all know, incredibly humble. This character or behavior of this player has created a good entertainment towards the spectators all over the world, including young children and adolescents. Thus, it can be a role model to the youth generations. That's all from me. I would like to pass the baton to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Hazrul Hakim and I will be presenting about how sport can be commercialized as a business. First, what is commercialized sport as a business? The answer is the use of sport to generate income through salary, sponsor and sales. Talking about who are referred to commercialized sport as a business, basically the public and athlete are involved, but in this topic, I will be focusing on 4 groups of athletes, which is youth, interscholastic, intercollegiate and professional. Now, a common thing that this group share is that the athlete learn that a reward of victories such as trophies, popularity and publicity. Nowadays, we can see there are many competition and tournament that offer with high price for the winner. As an example, UEFA Champions League tournament is offer around 2 billion euros for the prize money pool, and this will give benefit to the players to generate their income. Commercialized sport as a business has been applied to retail, advertisement and e-commerce that involve sport equipment and products. Sport company usually will hire the best athlete as ambassador to promote their product and increase engagement on their company. As an example, a Malaysian shuttlers, Lizija, was become the brand ambassador for isotonic drink, which is 100+. This will give benefit to the athletes and the sponsor, which is Lizija will get the allowance while the company will increase their sales through popularity of Lizija. However, the realization of this when there are misplaced priorities of coaches and parents when they are giving the pressure to the athletes to focus more on the sport rather than academics and social development. This issue can be worse when it comes to the professional level, which is the athletes are being paid to entertain and will be lead to physical exploitation. Based on the articles, we can see the example of physical exploitation that occur toward the athletes. Ryuji Sonoda, the coach of the Japanese women's judo team, was found guilty of abuse the athletes by slapping and beating using bamboo swords during their preparation for London Olympics 2012. The athletes have also been forced to compete while injured. This issue shows that the coach demonstrated that winning was more important than the health and well-being of the athletes. Next, I will be presenting about sport as transmitter of economic values. This topic is about the importance and the effects of the economic values to the athletes. Early in an athlete's career, economic values may exceed ethical value because the money is more important rather than the behavior. As we know, every sport competitions require rules and regulation. However, because of financial benefit are so important, there are some of the athletes and coaches are willing to break the rules without getting caught. When the importance of economic values occurred, the spirit of the rules dies because of economic value is exceed ethical value. They are also involved into 4 categories, which is youth, interscholastic, intercollegiate, and professional. First, youth category. Teach illegitimate acts and rule violation to win and get rewarded. This means that the coaches are teaching and encourage the athletes to break the rules and how to avoid from getting caught just to win the competition. There are 2 kinds of intentionally violation are frequently observed. First, the athletes intentionally break the rules to get the advantages by violation. Second, fake the injury in football match during extra time. The referees are not stop the time, thus the time will end just like that. Second, interscholastic category. Economic values encourage gambling in the sport, and this will be tarnish the image of sport as a builder of values. Sport gambling can be defined as the betting activity of predicting the result of the game sport. This is unlawful activity, especially for the athletes, because gambling can lead into corruption and match fixing. At this level, curiosity of the athletes are increased, so they are easily influenced by their family and friends to join sport gambling. When the athletes are joined, they will become addicted on gambling activity because of the high rewards offered. The effect of gambling in sport is the athlete will lose of trust and might be banned for life from involving any sport activity. Third, intercollegiate category meets on economics of big-time college sport. At this level, the athletes who are represent their institute will get the allowance by the institutes. The athletes are desperately in need of money as their daily expense, so the athletes are willing to represent the institute as long as the allowance is provided. This kind of athlete will just represent the institute and not focus on their competition. The athlete is so easily to involve in sport gambling because of for the sake of money. Fourth, professional category. Violence, intimidation, gambling, and enhancement of ergogenic aids At this level, the athletes become more easily to involve in gambling and violation of rules, such as intentionally break the rules by using illegal supplement to enhance their performance in illegal way to win the competition. Based on the article from New Straits Times, a Malaysian executive of a sport equipment company and 3 Indonesian shuttlers have been banned from match fixing. A Malaysian executive of a sport equipment company had approached the athletes and offered money to shuttlers to manipulate the match. This is the example when sport gambling is occur in sport competition and it will be lead to match fixing. This is because of when economic values is exceed than ethical values. So that's all from me. I will pass the presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Hazril. Hi and Assalamualaikum to Madam Ain and to all my fellow classmates. My name is Ainan Suraya binti Abdul Rahman. So now, I will continue the presentations with another subtopics in this chapter, which is ethical dilemmas relative to commercializations. Before I start my presentations, I hope that all of you to hang in there because this is the last subtopic before we end the presentations. So first of all, what is ethical dilemmas? Do you guys know what is ethical dilemmas is? Ethical dilemmas, also known as ethical paradox, moral dilemmas, is a problem in decision-making process between two possible options, neither of which is absolutely acceptable from an ethical perspective. It usually does not have a perfect solution or accurate answer. It can be right, it can be wrong, which is the answer will be yes or no. It depends on how you observe it and how you defend your answers with your own opinions. So now, let us take a look at the 3 ethical dilemmas relative to commercializations. So, for the first one, is a primary purpose of sports the promotion of a city, educational institutions, or a product? Second, should sport be used for public relations purposes? And third, does the winning at all mentality in sport lead to the exploitation of athletes? Now, let us go through the first dilemmas, which is a primary purpose of sports the promotion of a city, educational institutions, or product. The answer is can be yes. This is because it is acceptable when the cities, the educational institutions, or a product provides funding for sports. With their help, it helps to encourage and support our community to live in healthy and active lifestyle. Indirectly, through their efforts, their names will be known through the sports tourism and also can promote the sports as well. But the answer also can be no, because when the cities, large or small, use sports just to put themselves on the maps, the city is just use sports for their cities to be well known, and the purpose is not to enhance the sportsmanship in the country and even not to increase the ethical values in sports. Otherwise, they use sports just for their own benefits. Next, should sport be used as public relations purposes? No. Why no? Because education institutions should build their reputations and status on academic, non-athletic program. In order to use sports or athletic program to increase their reputations to the public relations, the educational institutions need to develop their reputations, image, and status through the academics. Otherwise, it also can be yes if the educational institutions wants to own the benefits from the popularity and success of their sports teams. For example, UiTM FC, our official football team, they have achieved one achievement to another achievement and have a good image of football club than others university. Through the achievements, it is indirectly increase the reputations of UiTM and easy to get the sponsorships from the outsider. Last but not least, does the winning at all cost mentality in sport lead to the exploitation of athletes? The answer can be yes. During the tournament, in order to win the game, cheating is allowed. Cheating is allowed to the athletes as long as nobody gets hurt. But once they break the rules, against the rules, then the violations occurs. It also can be no. This is because to the some athletes, winning is never more important than the physical, psychological, emotional, social, academic well-being to them. For instance, in a football game, a player knows that his opponent plays aggressively, so he decides not to go against him and let his opponent to pass him just to make sure there is no injury happens to him. To conclude this chapter, we know that commercialization can affect negatively or positively. It depends on how people choose to use it. Other than that, sports can be used a medium to promote peace, moral values, kindness, and in the same time, it can motivate people. But it can also misuse to gain personal benefits and profits. So that's all from us. Thank you.